let's say you have decided you're taking a longer break from alcohol. Let's say you're like, shit, I got to stop drinking. Maybe I am not labeling myself. Maybe I'm not saying forever, but like, I can't keep going on like this. And your partner drinks and there's alcohol in the house. And there are a lot of different things around. Some people don't want to talk to their partner about it at all. Some people are like, this is my problem. Any of those scenarios, you've decided to take a break from alcohol and your partner's not sober. What do you think is the first step that people should take?
I think the first step is to tell them. So I took a 90-day break before, and then I drank again, and then I quit for good. But when I took my 90-day break, I told my husband, I said, I'm not drinking for 90 days. And I said that, and I told him the day that I was going to drink again. So he knew I am not drinking for all of these days. And then we talked about, like how he can support me. But I think letting them know to avoid what he was doing before when I was trying to not drink Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he would come home like, I'm in the mood to party. He would still do that if he didn't know I was on a break. And that would be really hard for me to say no to when he's basically giving me permission to drink. So I think telling your partner is really important. I know like that can be really scary for some people because they don't want to fail in front of their partner. If they drink again, they don't want to feel like a failure or have them like rub it in or something. But I think telling one person helps just for accountability and safety. And then you can talk about like boundaries or whatever. But did you tell your husband right away?
I did. And I did not tell him anything except for the fact that I was taking a 100-day break from alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I had hired a sober coach, but like did not tell him that. And I didn't tell him how worried I was about alcohol or how many times I tried to control it. But I did say, I said, okay, I'm taking a 100-day break from alcohol, from wine. And so then I was like health kick, want to lose weight, whatever. But then I said, so I don't want you to bring home wine and
Yep.
I don't want to have any in the house, because I used to call him from work, have a crap day, be super grumpy. And he would come home with dinner and a bottle of wine because he knew that cheered me up. He knew I was like, oh, yay, like you get that like Pavlov's dogs, you're happy even when you just see it.
Yep.
So I had to tell him that, don't bring it home. I don't want it in the house. And I think I even told him, I really want to do this. So if I'm like, oh, screw it, will you remind me that I want to do this?
Yeah, same. I also asked him to not drink wine around me or bring wine around me. And he would have, like if we didn't tell them, they would have done it because wine made us happy. It had for many, many years consistently. So why wouldn't they continue to support that behavior and bring it home? We went to a casino somewhere in like the 50s or 60s, and we had that plan since before I took my break. And I was trying to like bargain my way into drinking. Oh, well, I'm never supposed to stop for good. Like the intention is always to drink again. This is just a break. So maybe like I was really going for it, trying to
Yeah.
get him to like buy in. And he reminded me, he was like, you really want to do this thing. And if you drink at the casino, it's going to be easier for you to abandon it and drink a second time. And I'll not drink with you. Like we're going to do it. And if he didn't know, I probably would have drank that night and then felt horrible about myself and, start the whole cycle. So they do help.
Yeah.
At least one person. It could be a therapist, like you had a sober coach, but telling the people you live with so they don't like try to give it to you.
Yeah. No. And, I know a lot of people's whose spouses would not have done that, right? Would not have talked them out of it for whatever reason, whether they were like psyched that they were going to drink or psyched that it was going to be a party night, or like, you're an adult, do what you want. I never thought it was that big of a deal. Or you've taken a 60-day break yeah, you deserve a drink. My husband probably would never have said no to me because I'd kind of said it before and then asked him to bring home wine or said screw it. So I really needed my coach as like an external voice. And I kind of like planned out everything. But it was really important that my husband knew. And I actually had to tell everyone, not tell everyone, but when I was going out, like I was going out to a girlfriend get together. We always drank a ton of wine pretty early in sobriety, like within the first 10 days. And my coach was like, don't go. And I was like, I have to go. This girl like is one of my best friends, moved away to a different state, and she's back for this one weekend, like I can't not go in my mind. Now, of course, I tell my clients, do you really need to go? But I like texted one of my girlfriends and same thing, said, hey, I'm on a health kick. I'm not drinking wine. Please, even if I ask, don't give it to me. Like just don't, because you know me, I'm going to break down basically. And I got there and I did not drink for the first hour and a half. And then I finally was like, fuck it. Can I have a glass of wine? And my friend Karen was like, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? And she was like, you told me to say no. And I was totally annoyed and so glad, after the fact when I drove home sober.
Yeah. And that ruins it. Like when someone's like, no, you can't. You said you were going to do this. Like then the barrier to drinking is so much higher because you're like, I did, like you're reminded, it makes you pause. Or even if my husband had given me permission and been like, yeah, you did 60 days, like that's pretty good, whatever, that would like ignite me to be like, no, I'm doing the 90, like reverse psychology.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, having those conversations, I think, is really helpful.
And I think it helped, like you have to tell your partner. You don't have to tell them why or whatever. But in the same way, like people are like, oh, I'm going to do a whole 30 or whatever, whatever it is, you usually tell your partner if you're trying to do something.